Welcome back to Ocean Casino Resort, JAKIB Media YouTube channel pregame show, talking all things Eagles and Cardinals. And we are here at Ocean Casino Resort from the live bar, book, and games. Mark Farzetta, Derek Gunn, Seth Joyner, talking all things Birds. Today, we got some inactives that are going to be coming out momentarily and a couple of big injuries that, of course, have a lot of Eagles fans concerned. For more information, we're going to go out there to Arizona right now and talk to our JAKIB Media NFL insider, Mr. John McMullen. John, how are you, man?
I'm doing well, guys. How are you?
Doing excellent, and definitely curious about Jordan Mailata. Reports are that he will miss this game. Avonte Maddox listed is out as well. What is the contingency plan here? More Jack Driscoll, more Josiah Scott. What do the Eagles plan to do today in order to make up for those injuries?
Yeah, I mean, it worked well last week. We're going to see if that was more sort of weather-driven because it was really difficult for everybody to throw the football, but certainly Jacksonville, they only had 11 completions. So Jack Driscoll coming in, essentially playing left tackle for the first time, held up well. And from a defensive standpoint, obviously Josiah Scott held up well in that condition. But those two, that concerns me, guys. It really does, because Jack Driscoll's not a natural left tackle. This is a pristine environment. They have the dome closed. It's going to be a fast track. So we're going to see if he can hold up in pass protection. And then Josiah Scott. Arizona doesn't have a ton of weapons without DeAndre Hopkins, but Rondell Moore's getting healthier, and they're going to go right at Josiah Scott. You can bet on that.
Hey, John, when you look at this Arizona defense, it's a defense that doesn't jump out at you in any aspect. They only have 4 quarterback sacks, and J.J. Watt, who's on his last leg basically, is the leader with 2. If you're running the Eagles' offense, do you hit them with a balanced attack, or do you do more of one or the other, whether it's a running game or the passing game?
Well, I think, getting a feel from what the Eagles felt last week, I think they think they have a big advantage in the passing game. And they think A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith can get open. They especially think this could be a Dallas Goedert game. So I think they're going to try to throw the football today. So when we talk about that balance week after week, we know deep down what Nick Sirianni wants to be, what Shane Steichen wants to be, and that's 11 personnel chucking the football all over the field. They think they have an opportunity to do that against Arizona, and I think they're going to at least try. And maybe if that doesn't work early, they kind of shift gears in game.
Interesting, John. My biggest concern is going to be Sua Opeta at right guard. I'm not really concerned with Driscoll on the outside, because they don't really have a premier pass rusher, on the outside. But with J.J. Watt lining up on Sua Opeta all game, like you said, they really want to throw the ball. Arizona's like one of the better run defenses in the NFL. But then again, so was Jacksonville last week, and we rushed for 210 yards against them. I still would like to see them have a balanced attack, but from watching film, I know that they can probably make hay against Isaiah Simmons. He just got victimized in week 1 against Travis Kelce. And you think about, you got Dallas Goedert. You could look at that film and glean some things from that and implement them against Isaiah, in this game today. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, one of the Eagles offensive coaches said he didn't want to disparage any players, but he said, watch the film and you know who I'm talking about when we think we can get Dallas Goedert some things. You just mentioned it, Seth. But in the case of Sua Opeta, I'd agree with you, but Isaac is going to play. He's going to try to play. So Isaac Seumalo is going to be out there. Now he's going to have his ankle heavily wrapped. As long as he's out there, I'm confident. But you're right. If they have to go to Sua Opeta, same thing I said about Jack Driscoll. They can go straight ahead, but I don't know if they can pass protect. And that's sort of the category of both of those players. Well, you're right with Dallas Goedert and Isaiah Simmons. The Eagles think they have a big advantage there.
John, one of the things we were kicking around earlier in the show was what exactly will the game plan be from Jonathan Gannon against Kyler Murray? Will it be the type of situation where just guys have to stay home, stay disciplined, especially your outside rushers, your defensive ends, for instance, or will it be a situation where you have a guy like TJ Edwards play the role of a quarterback spy? How do you think they defend against Kyler Murray today?
Yeah, I think it's got to be disciplined, alignment, assignment. You have to be very, very disciplined. So maybe it's not sexy, maybe more mush rush type of thing. I love DJ Edwards as a player, but he's not spying Kyler Murray. He can't keep up with Kyler in that aspect as a spy. Maybe he can do it with Kaiser White a little bit, but more than that, I think the Eagles want to stay disciplined in their pass rush, make sure that they keep Kyler in the pocket as much as possible. And, he's become more of, for the old school people, Fran's archetype. You remember the old highlights where Fran would just run around in the backfield, but he would never run forward. That's sort of what Kyler does now. He just runs around, extends plays, waiting for somebody to get open down the field. So it hasn't been much of a run type thing.
Hey, John,
I saw you guys lost me for a second.
No, we got you back. On paper, I don't think there's any way the Eagles lose this game, but based on what we've seen the first 4 weeks in the NFL, you always have to expect the unexpected. What's the one thing that worries you about Arizona against this Eagles team?
The Eagles are coming into this game haughty, D-Gun. They think they're going to out-physical this team. They think they're going to dominate this team. And I'm always concerned because who's on the horizon? The Dallas Cowboys. So, when we talk about letdown games in the NFL, this is a perfect spot for a letdown game. Borno team that thinks they're better, and they are better, by the way. But, this is the NFL. This is not college where you have gimmies on the schedule. Everybody can jump up and bite you. And then you start thinking about the Eagles ruling Jordan Mailata out, ruling Avonte Maddox out. They're probably trying to get those guys healthy for Dallas. And, this is a prime spot for a letdown game.
John, last question for me. I hear you, man. But when I listen to this team talk, when I listen to Jalen Hurts admonish the reporters this week about not making a big deal about, this football team that they're facing. They just wanted they want to talk about everything except for, the Arizona Cardinals. And when your 24-year-old quarterback, the leader of your team, steps up and admonishes the media, that sends a message to everybody else that we ain't taking nobody lightly. Now, they still got to go out and play the game. You can never step into the psyche of a team or a player for that matter. But I just get the sense that this team is built a little different from, a guy like Jalen Hurts to the veterans that still remain on this team that understand what it took to win a Super Bowl in 2017, that the dynamics are a little bit different. But I get it. I'm just not a big fan of the what do you call it? What do you call this game? The potential
trap game.
Trap game. There you go. I'm not a big fan of the trap game.
No, I hear you. Most players aren't. But I'll tell you what, Seth, how I took Jalen Hurts, he wasn't admonishing us. I think he was admonishing his own locker room and trying to be a leader. Because we asked about Kyler Murray. We asked about Zach Ertz. We asked questions about the Arizona Cardinals. Then he took that time to talk about the Arizona defense. I think that was a message to his own locker room. That wasn't a message to us.
Hey, anyway, there's a lot of different ways of sending messages where you need to get them to. So however you got to send it to get it to work.
Yeah, John, I just think he doesn't like you guys, and I think if they lose, it's your fault. So that's just the way I think. That's the way I took it.
It always is. It always is, Mark.
Exactly.
Always is.
John, what is your prediction for this game today?
Eagles will out-talent the Arizona Cardinals. They will win 28-20.
Oh.
28-20. John McMullen. John McMullen, the JAKIB. Oh, yes.
I'm sorry. I got one more question for you, John. How much do you think a guy named Zach Ertz wants this game? He admitted in the media this week about how things didn't end favorably for him here in Philadelphia, but he also said, I love my time with the Philadelphia Eagles, but I really listened to when he said things didn't end the way I had wanted them to here. So this is the big one for him.
And he said, by the way, Deacon, he said for 18 months things weren't the greatest, the end in Philadelphia. Yep. He's not mad at his teammates. He loved his teammates. He was mad at the organization. You remember, you go back to that playoff game, he played with a broken rib, two broken ribs, and a lacerated kidney, and he didn't think he got the respect he deserved from the organization. So in short, yeah, he wants to win this game really badly. And he's a big part of this offense, especially without DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, big red zone threat, a favorite of Kyler Murray already. John McMullen, thanks so much, man. Enjoy the game.
Thank you, guys.
Absolutely, John McMullen. And just while you're talking about Zach Ertz, just real quick, I just want to acknowledge something with Zach Ertz. He scored a pretty big touchdown in the Eagles' history, but a man that was traded away from Philadelphia to Arizona, still very much involved in the community with House of Hope in Hunting Park. I was there actually earlier in the week, just doing phenomenal work. Him and his wife Julie, his mom Lisa, with the Ertz Family Foundation, doing remarkable things still in the Philadelphia community. We'll continue to break down Eagles Cardinals when we return right here at Ocean Casino Resort.
Hi everybody, my name's Jason Lombardi. I'm an inspector at DryTech. At DryTech we offer three major services, the first one being basement waterproofing. The second service we offer is foundation and structural repairs. And then the third service that we offer is mold remediation. If you feel you are having a waterproofing issue, give DryTech a call or check us out online.